We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs. Bo Bassett is one of the highly touted recruits in a long time, I would say. The
Yeah.
hype is real for this dude, and no one's making more of a spectacle on his commitment process than Bo Bassett himself. I mean, this picture speaks for itself. So basically, when the recruitment period opened, he had a picture, this picture, and list of my top schools, and it was literally every Division 1 program for wrestling, and then Parkside, which is D2. There might be a few others that are D2 or D3 that I may be forgetting, but it was pretty much every program. And now he is coming out after we're about a week into the recruiting process for him, and he's slowly starting to wean out the his contenders, most notably Long Island, Buffalo, Franklin and Marshall, Utah Valley, VMI, Presbyterian, and Davidson. You will not see Bo Bassett in on your team.
I
So
mean,
RIP there.
yeah, historically, I mean, none of those teams are superstar level teams.
Donnie though. Donnie at
Donnie
Buffalo.
missed out. I don't know what Donnie did to not entice Bo Bassett.
Hey, Shu must be doing something right to stay in the
Yeah,
mix.
how is Sacred Heart? It's because they boast the largest roster in the nation.
And I think it's the only Division 1 Catholic school. And I think Bassett is high on his faith. So maybe that's a
Uh,
reason. I think there's a zero
you
percent chance
imagine
he
if he
goes to
ended up going?
Sacred Heart, but
Could you imagine if that Sacred Heart?
hey, it only takes one to build a village or
Oh,
have the village follow, maybe. But I think what is most notable is this picture shared on Twitter.
hell yeah.
So this is a when the clock strikes midnight, coaches can call as of what was it, the 14th, I think it was. Whatever date the what was for the recruitment to start for Bo Bassett's class. And number one is Rutgers. Surprises here. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, Steve Maitai.
Steve Maitek, former Binghamton assistant coach. So shout out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right at midnight. Yeah. Steve
Well, he,
Maitek.
he he somehow eked out the other midnight call of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Somehow
Tom and
must have
Logan
been within
Stieber.
seconds of each other.
And they got a smiley face.
Yeah, I mean they got the star next to Steve, so clearly they're and against Rutgers number one. Like definitely very pleased with Rutgers. And then yeah, no, Ohio State definitely seems like big fan.
I think the only way to do this is to read way into the subliminal things that Bo Bassett has put on this sheet. Like how many lines? One, two, three, four, and then the star, and then
Yeah, the giant number.
right? These are all signs that us in the wrestling community can speculate on that play a huge factor into his decision making process.
So he must not have talked to Bourmet from Michigan because he didn't list his name as a
Well,
coach.
I mean, that's got to be a bad sign. Like you don't even know who you spoke with. You didn't even bother to write down the coach's name.
Right, yeah.
Like you wrote down Tom Ryan, Logan talked a lot,
Yeah, Mark
Manning
Manning,
called,
Mike
Mike
Gray,
Ray, all
Brand.
coaches
Is that
from Missouri.
Brands?
Brands potentially
Is that apostrophe? Yeah, it could be.
could be. And then, the brands are throwing out cryptic dates that he is confused by. October 26th, mark our calendars.
Yes, maybe he's going on a visit.
October
Or is that for Missouri?
26th.
No, that's probably
That's a
for
Saturday.
yeah, that'd be probably for a visit.
That's okay. Interesting.
I,
Well, so And then Lehigh is number 8 on this.
Yeah, they
We'll
didn't
round
list.
out the list. So Princeton at number 9, NC State,
That's the last coach they list.
Esposito, yeah.
Esposito.
Stanford, Little Rock. Love to see Little Rock getting into the mix.
Well, they're trying.
I mean, I always wonder like anyone's up for grabs. You know, if Angela Lears can stay home at a smaller program, then I have to believe that with the right kid that they can go to a lower program. I mean, even Clarion called. So I like to see that they're at least putting themselves in the mix.
They're making the effort to try and get the top recruit.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of me is like, Borshoff, come on. Put
Yeah,
yourself out there.
but he clearly didn't.
Stanford, Little Rock, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Clarion, North Carolina, and then that was it for Saturday night. And then Sunday,
How about
Bucknell, Pitt,
I
American,
American? Yeah, they really have fallen off.
Arizona State, Virginia Tech. How about Penn State, number 22? And I feel like this is kind of the norm when we watched who was it? They kind of Flow Wrestling did a behind the scenes of that
Oh,
Jersey.
not.
Yeah, Anthony Knox's recruitment process, and his first call was from Cornell.
And he,
And
look where he's going.
right, right. But then he was like, "Oh, Coach Kale didn't call until the next day."
Right. Yeah. So that must be Kale's standard procedure. If then again, he didn't even write that it was Kale. It might have been someone else.
Right. Well, I mean, I would imagine that someone, if Kale's calling Anthony Knox, he should be calling Bo Bassett.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
my favorite list not person on or team on this list for Sunday is Missouri. They called again. They're the only team that called twice.
hey,
The number
that
6 on day one. And
that's got to
then
make you feel special.
yeah, right? Like, hey, it's Missouri calling again. We really want you.
Yeah, yeah. We're just thinking about you, checking in.
I know we talked
How'd you
yesterday,
sleep
but
last night?
we need some.
Um, And then Oregon State, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, David Taylor finally with
Yeah, so
two
that means they're
underlines, 3 exclamation points, number 27.
yeah, I he clearly wanted David Taylor to you don't put David Taylor finally if it wasn't like you were waiting on that call. You're like
Yeah.
he must have been spending all day Saturday thinking like when's Oklahoma State gonna call? When's Oklahoma State gonna call?
Now, obviously, I'm not a college coach and I don't know what successful recruitment tactics are, but
Mhm.
I would feel like Penn State and Oklahoma State are playing a little bit hard to get type of thing. And I don't know why. It's like, oh,
Uh,
well, we don't really need to be the first ones to reach out because our legacy speaks for itself type of thing. But at
could
the
be.
same time, I mean, we saw Anthony Knox commit to Cornell and they were the first ones who called him. And guess what? Rutgers is number 1 here. And Bo Bassett has a tie with Rutgers already, right? With
Yeah.
Mason Gibson.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mason Gibson is committed there now. Yeah, that's right.
So
So I
I
mean,
think
his top 5 must be Rutgers, Ohio State, David Taylor with Oklahoma State. Did he write any other special things? Maybe
maybe
Iowa.
maybe Iowa, Missouri called twice, so maybe
Missouri
there.
called twice, but he didn't indicate anything that he was more swayed by. Yeah, I think his top 4 are probably without him revealing his top 4. I would guess his top 4 are Rutgers, Ohio State, Iowa, and Oklahoma State. But I would put Iowa at 4th.
I mean, we can probably it's probably safe to assume that this list will probably see at least another 10 to 15 drop out. And so he's doing this every Wednesday. He's gonna give a recruiting update and continue to narrow it down the list. And and just kind of see what happens. So everyone in the comments are like, "Oh, so and so school made the cut. Let's go."
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you start with literally every school, of course they made the cut. He didn't rule anyone out yet.
yeah, and I mean, I it just why did those seven
Yeah,
get
what
cut
didn't you
though?
like about those seven? Well, one, they didn't reach out. So
Yeah, they didn't reach out.
that was their first faux pas.
Yeah. I think there's a couple other UPU. That's probably a D2 or D3. I'm not, and then WL. I'm not sure what that one is. So there's some others, but I mean, this is a D1 national champion level talent guy. I'm almost positive we're gonna see him at one of the top wrestling programs. And in his posts, he always uses the hashtag dream big, as in B10 Big 10 logo. So I think I think right now Big 10, he's destined for Big 10, and I think Rutgers is a landing spot for him.
Well, yeah. I mean, but I still can't help but think about the David Taylor finally. I feel like he probably really wants Oklahoma State.
Yeah. I
Or is
mean,
really
Gilman's there. Gilman's there. Jimmy Kennedy. I mean,
well, and that is the place that I feel like is going to become the team that could probably compete with Penn State. So maybe Bo likes the idea of toppling the giant instead of joining the giant.
that's true. That's true. So we'll have to stay posted every Wednesday. I think that so all right, we'll leave this week's video with Binghamton. Do you think Binghamton's still going to be on the list next Wednesday when he updates his thing? I think, you know what? I'm going to say yes. I think that there's going to be like 10 schools cut, but Binghamton's going to be on there.
Here's a more important question. Do you think Sacred Heart or Binghamton gets cut first?
Or they might be cut at the same time.
That's true. Or cut at the same time, yeah.
I would think that Shoe would be cut first, but
I mean, I would have thought she would have already been cut.
hey, look at this UNCO.
Yeah,
You
of
never,
course. Colorado, Northern Colorado. It's the place to
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah,
AJ just took a visit there, so
yeah, exactly. Um, I would find it so funny if at the end of this, like the answer was in front of us all along, like it was an optical illusion, like oh, this image was bigger or something, or I don't know what, but I think that'd
oh,
be
that he
really
was giving
funny.
it away from the get-go.
Yeah, like, oh, he's pointing right here. Look at this, Rutgers. Oh,
Yeah.
I found it. I figured it out. He's pointing, and the closest one to his finger is Rutgers.
Yeah, that is true. Rutgers, I mean, unless you could say Duke is closer, but
He's
but
not
I mean that yeah, the
Duke.
way that is, yeah.
Number one. Only one can remain, unless it's something like, oh yeah, this school right here, UPenn, underneath my top or top UNI, right next to the word top.
Yeah, but no, I think you're closer with the Rutgers thing than then again, Penn State's pretty big.
It
They're
is. I mean, some schools' logos are just bigger too. So
well, I don't know. I feel like he sized the logos.
look at this. He put Parkside right on this guy's butt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's another guy in the image.
Yeah.
But like freaking some of these, yeah, like some Air Force's AF is so much smaller than like Penn State's Nittany Lion logo.
Yeah. They don't stand a chance.
Yeah, no, yeah, Air Force. Yeah. He's not gonna go Air Force, Navy, or Army. Oh, you can't even see Michigan State next to Army. It blends in with the shoe.
Oh yeah. Right here.
Dang.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see until Wednesday. Drop a comment down below. Where do you think Bo Bassett is going to land? How far will Binghamton and Shu make it onto this list? Is there some subliminal messaging here with how he's structured this list? or are we reading too far into it? I mean, that's the whole point. It's kind of a joke, but yeah. Let us know all in the comments down below. And as more news comes out, we will be here to discuss it.
Yeah, especially Mike. He loves following this.
Oh, yeah. He'll be in the comments. Don't worry. He'll have
Yeah,
his
don't
two
worry.
cents.
You'll get all his opinions in the comments. He'll reply extra on this one.
Yeah, he's like, I'm really confident that he's gonna be a Penn State guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be upset that he wasn't a part of the conversation, but he'll join in the comments.
Right, right. Until next time, thanks for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.